Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and the patch notes are live in Hearthstone, outlining all the nerfs in like 15 buffs, a ton of cards getting buffed. It's a weird one though. We'll talk about it when we get to the cards, and some other bug fixes and changes. I am thankfully able to record this a little bit early. I got an advance, you'll note, the draft from Blizzard, so I could, you know, get some sleep or whatever, that weird thing. But yes, we're gonna go through all the patch notes. Will be linked down below if you want to take a look at the official versions. And again, should go live around 10 a.m. Pacific today. Also, when the next card will be revealed, when we'll have a review again up in like shortly later, like in an hour or so. So you want to win some cards, by the way, we do have our giveaway going on. 3 mega bundles, 2 regular pre-orders out of my pocket. To enter the giveaway, like a comment in the video, linked in the description below, the one with that thumbnail there. Be subscribed to the channel and you have a chance to win. And again, every 1,000 subs until all the cards are revealed, I will add another mega bundle. So hit that sub button, make me go broke. So 28.6.2 goes live today. Will include the following changes to standard and battlegrounds. Dev comment, we have 2 goals for this patch. First, we want to weaken some of the meta outliers. Second, we want to experiment with smaller buffs across several cards that are rotating out of standard soon. Pretty much all the cards being buffed are leaving standard in like a month. It's kind of weird, right? We'll get into that in a second, especially classes that are currently weaker, to see if we could give them one last hurrah. Our hope is that players will try out and enjoy some of these strategies during these last weeks before they go. This is an experiment, so we'll be tracking player sentiment and play data to see if it works out. So they've never really done this before. Typically when they buff cards, it's for the most recent set. But again, we'll go into that. Let's talk about the good stuff, the spicy stuff. What's getting nerfed? Well, Sludge on Wheels is going from a 2-5 to a 2-4. So a little less, we'll have a little less survivability, might not be able to get as many barrels of sludge into your hand and the bottom of the deck. It originally was a 1-5, so they didn't revert it that way. But yeah, should be significant, can die a little bit easier, a little less sticky, and the card should still be playable. It's absolutely nuts as a 2-5. Curious to see how it'll do as a 2-4, but that ain't it for Sludge Warlock. Waste Remover is no longer a 7 mana 7/7. They missed a golden opportunity here, I gotta say. It's a 5/7, so really hard to remove still. Just has a little bit less lethality on the body. I think still playable, but they could have made it a 6/7. It would have been really good stats for the cost, but yeah, 5/7 is 6/6. That's kind of what I was hoping for, and they went on to 5/7. So again, not only do you get less stats to stick around, it pushes less damage. Forge of Wills will also spawn less stats. You'll get a 5/7 with Rush instead of a 7/7. Still really good, still really powerful, but, you know, it's not as egregious. So I don't feel like they're trying to kill the deck. I don't see that, but I do see it being weakened because, yeah, it's so overtuned right now. The stats are so ridiculous. I'm curious. I think it'll still be a good deck after these nerfs. With also Chaos Creation. Thankfully, Mage getting nerfed, right? They don't use this card anyways. But yes, they are nerfing the damage, the minion, and the destruction in the bottom of the deck. So it'll deal 5, summon a 5-drop, and destroy 5 cards now. So it's like old Firelands Portal, the way that used to be before it got buffed. But still, it could still be a 5 mana deal. What? 20, deal 25, get a 5-drop. Can't get Sif anymore, so that's kind of nice, but there's probably other 5-drop high rolls out there. But again, making it so it's not quite as absurd burst, but still probably playable. It is so overtuned that I'm curious to see. And I think the main reason they're hitting this pretty hard are none of the cards in Sludge Warlock are rotating. None of them. And they don't want a rotation dominated by an old deck, right? So that's why they're hitting quite a few targets to try and really dial it back. Chaos Creation, yes. So that's the Warlock nerfs. Dev comment, when talking about our first goal to curb power outliers, Warlock is the primary clear outlier across all ranks. This deck is strong at all phases of the game, so toning down its mid game and its late game burst to bring it into line. And I think I'm totally fine with all these changes. Again, the deck is super overtuned. That 1 or 2 changes probably wouldn't have been enough. And we'll see if this, I still think it'll be a good deck. The Druid nerf, Shadow Reflections, as we thankfully anticipated and hoped for. I remember when I'll put the clip of my reaction when I saw the first nerf. I really wanted it to not target Titans. So it's a little bit less value, but the Eonar scam kind of stays. This one, why can't I just say choose a non-Titan minion? Like, just, wouldn't that be nice? And yeah, now it won't. Choose a non-Titan minion, add a copy it to your deck and Battlefield. They did not revert the change. You cannot add stuff to your hand. So like the infinite fizzles shenanigans, not quite there. I guess they were worried about that. But yeah, Priest getting nerfed again because of Druid. That's the dual class thing, right? Like, there's dual class is really cool, but it does have a downside of one class abuses it. It's usually Druid, by the way. It ends up getting nerfed, but you saw with Warlock and Mage there. So dev comment, Ramp Druid is not a power outlier at most levels of play. It is a high legend by far, but it's becoming a prevalent power and sentiment outlier at high legend ranks. Titans were designed to be unique, cool cards with power effects. I just added cool because they are. You can activate maybe a few times per games, but not 10 times. We still want the Titans to be those cool, standout, powerful cards. So removing them from the pool of cards Shadow Reflections can target. How about we do that to Reverb if Mage gets good again, right? Because Reverb, that's the problem with that card, right? So really good change. Really happy to see it. This probably really hurts Ramp Druid, but I don't think many people are going to be very upset about that. And yeah, just infinite Eonars is just so obnoxious. You can still do the Beetles, not the band, but the bug that has charge. You can still do like Fizzle, just not Titans. That's it. It's pretty narrow what you can't target. So I like to see that. Yes, I'm happy. I'm very happy. Blind Eye Sharpshooter got buffed. It's a 3/3, but it is now 4 mana. The change that should have happened in the first place. At least we got there. It's happened, and we got a dev comment here of Demon Hunter has had its ups and downs. Now it's in an interesting spot, we'll call it that, where it isn't seeing much player success at most levels of play, but it is a consistent sentiment outlier for high legend players. Yeah, I'm guilty of that. I'm top 500. That's high legend, kind of, right? You know, specifically, we've got a lot of feedback that players don't like that this one card can generate that much damage that early in the game. We're slowing the card down by a turn to make that burst damage slower and clunkier, and buffing other Demon Hunter archetypes in this patch for fans of the class throughout the ladder. So dust refunds on all this card. I'm really very, very happy to see this change. You guys know I really hated this card. It's just, I still think it'll probably be absurd at 4. It might still be playable, but at least it costs a little bit more. It's still, think about what this card could do at 4 mana. It's still ridiculous that it could kill, draw your deck. Like, it could still do broken stuff, but on 3 mana, I don't know. We'll see how it goes at 4. I'll probably still complain about it. But what about the buffs? There are a lot of them. And the theme is they're all cards that will be rotating soon. So I don't know how you guys are going to feel about it. I think it's kind of weird because like these cards are all going to go away anyways. Why not buff stuff that, you know, isn't working long term? That's going to stay in standard. They can do it later, but I don't know. I don't know if I love it. I'm curious what you guys have to say about it. It's cool they're trying something different. I just don't know how impactful it'll be. So Blight Blood Berserker goes from 8 to 7 mana. Card never saw play at 7. Maybe it will. Pretty good taunt Lifesteal Reborn minion that deals damage. From the other side goes to 9 mana. So 1 less 10 mana pool spell in the pool for like Tendrils and Yogg and all that. Again, not bad. Again, the card saw like 0 play outside of when that bug was going on with that 3-drop that would give this to you infinitely. But again, kind of a cool card that hasn't really seen much play. Harkener of Dread now summons a 4/4. It has Reborn, sorry. They added Reborn to this. Before, it would just summon a 6/6 with Taunt. Now, this will come back as a 5-mana 2/1 and give you a 4/4 with Taunt. Dies again, it'll give you another 4/4. That seems like an arena menace. I don't think this is currently in the arena, so it should be fine. But that's a pretty impactful card. That is a lot of stats on a 5-drop. So this one, pretty nuts. Scourge Tamer, now a 1-mana 1/2. I wish this happened sooner. Getting a Zombeast on turn 1, that'd be pretty cool, right? So yeah, it's like a Rexar's Beast. You can build one for 1 mana. That's a pretty cool buff. So this card might actually see a little bit of play, but I just, again, kind of wish it happened sooner. If Coil Scar Commander, I forgot this card existed. A 6 mana 3/7 taunt battlecry. If you cast 3 spells while holding this, you now summon 2 copies. So you'll get 2 3/7s or better if they've been hand buffed. So That's a lot of stats. Like, that's an absurd amount. So maybe that works. Oh wait, they're buffing dog and demon hunter. Don't worry, it does not care about this strategy like at all. Deal with the devil now summons 2 more 3/3 Fel Fiend. So instead of 5 mana 9/9, you get a 5 mana 12/12 for spell DH. So that's pretty rad. Top of the Idol, a pretty good card. Never really made the play. This is really nice, I think, for Reno Demon Hunter, which hasn't been a thing at all. Goes to 4. So it's like a 4 mana, can be a really big AoE. You dredge and reveal the card and deal damage to its cost to all minions. That could be pretty strong. Mark of Score now does 4 damage instead of 3. Don't love this because this is already a good card in Spell Demon Hunter, but again, the deck has fallen off. Maybe look out for that in Wild. That is a lot of damage. Mage gets Mecha Mage buff. Trench Surveyor goes from a 2 mana 3/2 to a 1 mana 2/1. So you got 1 mana 2/1, dredge a card. If it's a mech, draw it. Energy Shaper buffed again. I think this used to be 4 mana. Now it'll transform all spells into your hand to ones that cost 3 more. They keep their cost, so an even bigger scam. That might actually make the cut. That's a lot of possible mana cheats, so you might have fun with that card there. Sunken Sweeper. Now the reward of the card that you dredge out of your deck will add 3 random mechs to your hand. They will now cost 1 less instead of just getting 3 random mechs. Mysterious Visitor will discount costs of cards copied from your opponent by 3. Look out for this in Wild with like the Harvester of Envy and like I guess a Lucia combos you could possibly do, although Lucia doesn't really work, but still even more mana cheat, my favorite, right? So that's pretty relevant. Incriminating Psychic now gives you 2 copies of random cards from your opponent's hand. And the Geminator gets Pirate Admiral Hooktusk buffed. It is now a 7 mana 7/7. And if you summon 7 other pirates, you plunder. So the requirement's less and the minion is cheaper. So you can like steal their highest cost minion, I believe. You can steal cards from their hand or steal cards from their deck. So that's a really cool buff to a card that memers have tried really hard to make work. Demolition Renovator, the tech location destroyer buffed again right before it leaves. Why is this not the core set? But yeah, it is now 3 mana 3/3 tradable instead of 4 mana 4/4. So that's all the changes. Again, I don't know how I feel about the buffs, the fact that they're going to be like all cards leaving, but it's cool to try something different. Let them know what you guys think about it. Again, I'll link it down below, all this stuff. It's mostly Battlegrounds changes. Apparently there was a bug with Malfurion the Pestilent that would not give armor when played from Hearth's hand. So yeah, my only concerns with this balance patch is a lack of kind of more relevant buffs, but also Warrior not getting hit at all. I'm expecting Warrior Stone kind of pretty heavily. I would have liked to have seen Trial by Fire or Aftershocks nerf, but yeah, look out for Control Warrior or Highlander Warrior, Brand Warrior. I feel like it could be a very, very Brand or Warrior heavy patch, maybe both. We'll have to wait and see. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about the patch in the comments down below. Stay tuned. There's a card review coming. It's a really cool card. Hope you guys enjoy it. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.